So, EA has now got another lawsuit on their hands. Honestly, if you was working at EA, you'd be sick and tired of this by now. Almost every other week, there's a new lawsuit being attached to EA. And for good reason. Yo, it's me, Big Nose. Do you want the best player on the game? Well, you can't get D-Money, because he's probably not in FIFA. So get Phil Bardsley. Get all the Phil Bardsley. So if you're looking for the best way to get coins, don't spend FIFA points, go over to useandbuy.com for the cheapest place on the market for your coins. Use code Vizeh at checkout, and most importantly, enjoy the video. Over the last 2 years, there's been a lot more behind the scenes going at EA from a lot of countries and government bodies involving gambling betting firms, and even a brand new lawsuit, the Canadian government getting involved, even the US government, California getting involved, and this is a new lawsuit, not just to do with loot boxes, but also to do with actual alleged DDA, which is often known as dynamic difficulty adjustment, which is what, if you watch on the foot market, it goes on about it a lot, but it's basically where the game changes the difficulty of the game, makes either your players worse or better, depending on what EA wants from you. So for example, let's say if you're playing 4 or 5 games in a row, you win all 4 or 5 games, and then you go ahead and play another game, EA will purposely make your players play worse, so that it will make you want to spend more money in the game. Because if you are using a Rashford and he's amazing, but yet suddenly he's now awful for like the next couple of games, you may think, I want a better player, and that may make you want to go and spend money. Now this is an article by PC Gamer, which is a very well-known, very respected website and magazine. I think they do magazines, and this is from 18 hours ago, and this is a class action lawsuit claims EA dynamic difficulty tech encourages loot box spending. Jason Zolang, Daniel Williams, and Plank Lozano claim EA is using a company patented dynamic difficulty adjustment technology to keep players buying loot boxes such as FIFA Ultimate Team packs. They will also claim technology has been used this way to several EA Sports games since 2017. For some of these games, EA have denied using dynamic difficulty adjustment at all. Now, this is in fact a patent thing that EA owns, the dynamic difficulty adjustment. Now, this was back in like I think FIFA 08. That back in FIFA 8 there was like those like little like dots to the side of your in the scoreboard. There's like those like 3 little dots, like a 1 dot, 2 dot, 3 dots, and like 3 dots. You notice the difference. That is actually dynamic difficulty adjustment, where basically in the simplest term, it's momentum. If you got 3 of those dots risen up, it's all 3 dots showing. That means that your team is in momentum, and that means that your team has a boost in stats ratings, and that means that you will have a advantage to your team. This is a full-blown lawsuit. This isn't just like like a YouTuber like waffling on YouTube like myself. This is an actual proper Northern California district court lawsuit on EA, and the reason behind this is that they believe that it is adjusted to be used to automatically adjust the challenge of the game so that players decide to buy player packs in order to make it enjoyable again. It does this, they say, by adjusting player stats to the point where they seem much weaker than their skills suggest. That might be them running slower or their opponents faster and causing them to miss passes. All this would eventually lead to players purchasing player packs in search for something better. This is a self-perpetuating cycle that benefits EA to the detriment of EA Sports gamers, since difficulty adjusting mechanisms make gamers believe their teams are less skilled than they actually are. EA is accused of violating California consumer protection laws, false advertising, and unjust enrichment. EA has replied back saying that we believe the claims are baseless and misrepresent our games, and we will defend, a representative said in a statement. Now, for me personally, like, this isn't what we should really be looking at here. There has been many lawsuits that have been mainly aimed at EA. One of them is this one here, 10 million euro fine over loot boxes in the Netherlands, which is another lawsuit, which is here. A Netherlands court has ruled that FIFA packs are a form of gambling and against the law. Now, this for me is where this should be mainly going towards. By the way, this article is 15 days old. It is a relatively very recent article, and this is a new case as well. Now, you may be asking, Liam, why are you looking into these lawsuits? And the reason why is because this has been sped up a lot. Like, in the last 2 years, there's been a lot more, and I mean a lot more pressure, a lot more going towards EA, and especially over loot boxes. And for me, like, we could go into this lawsuit here about, DDA, basically, and I don't think that this is what we should be looking for, because you can't really prove this unless you go into the game yourself. Like, you can't prove this at all. However, one thing you can prove is loot box system and why it is seen as a form of gambling, because for me, it is a form of gambling. There's no difference between you just having a random lucky goal, spinning a wheel, and hoping to get the lucky number in the same way that you go and open a pack and hope you get a lucky pack. There's nothing at all. There's no skill. It's purely luck, and there's no guarantees if you get anything out of it or not. And 99% of the time, you'll get nothing out of it. The reason why I'm saying this, I'm bringing it towards you guys, is that I feel like in the next year, there will be something big happening. I feel like there will be something big happens from the English courts, from American courts, like what it is now DDA. I think there'll be a big thing happening because EA, they can't keep hiding forever. They can't keep hiding from these loot box systems, because for me, I hate it. I hate the idea of putting money in this game. I hate it. I despise it, honestly. Like, when I was younger, I put money in this game because I was a dumb kid. I know many of my viewers from my Twitch live streams, from Twitter, they tell me that, yeah, when I was younger, I put money in this game for my parents' bank account, and they had no idea. I did the same thing. We were stupid kids, and because we watch YouTubers, we watch pro players, we see what they do with these amazing players. We play FUT Champions, and we see what these players can do with Mbappe and Cruyff and Ronaldo. I've got Ronaldo on my team. He is absolutely unbelievable. He's so good, and he's such a level above anyone else. Rashford, Hazard, Heung-min Son, 10 times better. Better shooting, better strength, better jumping, better pace, better skills, better anything you could think of. He's better than Sadio Mane, and that is why I feel like with this insane amount of pressure that is being pushed towards EA now, something is going to change with EA. Something is going to change with the pack system. I hope it is. A study of loot boxes in 10 video games conducted in 2018 by the Netherlands Gaming Authority determined that 4 of them were in violation of the country's gambling laws, and of course one of them will be involving EA. In a statement released today, the KSA said that most of the companies involved in the matter complied as required, but EA did not, and as a result is now facing fines of up to 10 million, 5 million against EA itself, and 5 million against the EA Swiss. So they claim EA Sports are violating the Gambling Act through its packs in a FIFA video game. The law stipulates that games of chance may not be offered without a license, and of course they don't have a license. You can't be, there's no way to prove that you're 18 higher, because as you know, you've got to be 18 minimum to gamble. That's why there's a gambling limit, because if you're below the age of 18, you don't know the real concept of money. You don't know the real value of money. You don't know, like, you've got no proper concept of what means the most. I learned a lot about the value of money when I worked at McDonald's, because I got given like £5 an hour, £4.55 an hour. I earned nothing, and I had about, after like a full 2 weeks of work, 5 days stressing my arse off at age 16, 17 to work in Mackey's, I had like £220, £250 every fortnight, so I have like £500 a month, and that's me working my absolute arse off. And then I knew the value of money. This isn't like some random people. This is a proper Netherlands Gaming Authority, the KSA. This is a proper authority in a big country, Netherlands. And if this goes through, and like what happened to Belgium, if this succeeds, then we could see a lot more countries follow suit. Germany, France, England. We could see some big countries also seeing this and taking authority as well. To put an end to the violation, the KSA considers a violation of the law to be particularly serious, given the large number of children and young adults have access to packs in the video game, and particularly vulnerable to developing gambling addictions. Get in. I love that. Yo, I will never be a guy on YouTube which, like, I hate. I can't watch any YouTubers which just spunks on all the money, other than maybe Pieface, because I like him as a human being. That doesn't mean I don't like, like Castro or whoever else you can think of that puts money in the game. I don't like that style of content. I don't like the idea that you got to spend £5,000 on this game to make content. I don't like the fact that some people's only idea of making video content is purely to spunk on a few £100. I don't like that. I think that's a cheap way out, and I don't think that's good content whatsoever, because for the way I see it, they will spend £100, £200 on this game, better get anything, then go do a video, and then better get any views because the name isn't Castro or Bateson. It's really upsetting for me, and I do find it really bad, because I know friends of mine who are YouTubers, streamers, and that, let's say the streamers, as soon as they put out a tweet saying, hey, I'm opening 12k FIFA points, they get like triple more views, because guess what? People like packs. That's why. They're not just doing it for themselves, but they're doing it because they get views on Twitch. But guess what? As soon as those packs are gone, viewers go back to normal. So then they're in a situation thinking, well, I like views, I want to make my channel progress, but the only way I can do that in a simple way is to spunk on another £70 in this game. That's why I despise FP. That's why I hate it. That's why I've maybe put FP twice in the last 2 years. I think one time was for a Capcom Tom video, I think a FIFA bingo. And even for that, the points were even gifted to me by a company. And also, I put like £100 on the Sota last year, and I felt awful, and I will never do that ever again, and you will never see me put points on. Now, this is what EA has said. EA took the matter to court, arguing that loot boxes in FIFA games are not games of chance as defined by the Betting and Gambling Act, which they are, and are therefore not in violation of the law. EA also argued that FIFA is a game of skill. Is it not chance? Is it and the addition of an element of chance does not change the fundamental nature, and that the items inside FIFA packs have no monetary value outside the game of itself. Players all over the world have enjoyed FIFA and the FIFA Ultimate Team mode for many years, and as such, we're disappointed by this decision and what it may mean for our Dutch community. Off. That basically means we want to avoid the situation of Dutch players to give us more fucking money. No, like, this pisses me off. This really annoys me. Seriously annoys me, man. Because fact of the matter is, this is fucking gambling. This is. And the worst part is, it's got no skill about it at all. You open a pack, and it's the same way as what you see on Unibet. You spin a fucking roulette wheel, and you hope that a ball lands on a lucky number that you want. That's literally it. Oh, this honestly, this infuriates me, because I can't see a way around it where these packs are not gambling. You tell me down below in comments. You tell me a way how this is not gambling if you are in disagreement with me. Please, be my guest. I'm looking forward to see what you have to say. Of course, that is not the only lawsuit that EA has got in the last couple of months. There's also one by a Canadian firm, I believe, which they are actually going on to attacking the likes of Star Wars Battlefront, but mainly EA Sport Games. A class action lawsuit has been filed against EA in Canada, disputing the nature of loot boxes and whether they constitute gambling, which they do, according to Matthew P. Good and Anthony Vizeh, both counsels of the case. Now, of course, in Belgium, there's no FIFA points over there, which is good. Of course, if you're not aware, in the House of Lords in UK, they've also urged loot boxes to be reclassified as a form of gambling, something that the UK Gambling Commission has avoided calling them. For some reason, they have been. And this is another article by More Gambling News, and this is back in July this year. And basically, the reason why I'm doing this video is because I can see a massive change with this game. I can see a huge change. I genuinely believe that this entire FP thing will be changed within 2 years. Within 2 years max. They will, of course, go against it, but I'm seeing so many, and I mean like so many people, so many companies, so many countries, so many big gambling organizations go up against EA, and it seems like each week, each month, there's a brand new lawsuit. The best way I could describe it is that when I was 18, I put a bet on. Okay, I put like £5 on like an ACCA of like 5 teams. And if you don't know what ACCA is, basically that you have a accumulation of like, 5 different results that you put a bet on. And I put like, I put like Fiorentina to win. I put like, Middlesbrough and Derby. From that bet, I got a 90-minute winner from Fiorentina to win my bet. I thought I lost it all. I thought I lost my £5. Okay, life goes on. And Fiorentina scored a goal in like the 93rd minute, and I won myself like 60 odd pounds, 70 pounds, and I got such a rush from that. I was like, oh wow, get in, I made easy money. And you know what I did? I had a massive rush, and I thought, okay, that was easy. I could do that again. I got £70 now. I could then go and spend that money and put even more ACCAs on, and maybe even increase the £10 ACCA in a £5 and a £10, maybe a £15 on a single bet here for Manchester United to win, to win against Southampton or something. And that is how it started. And guess what? Within half a week, I lost pretty much all that money. I may have won 1 or 2 small bets, but I lost the majority of them. And over time, I was consistently chasing that buzz. You get a rush, you get a buzz when you win a bet, when you win anything to do with gambling. If it's a roulette wheel, if it's when you're playing poker, if it's blackjack. I've been to casinos before. I've been to many casinos with my mate from back in uni. He always went to casinos. He had no money, but when he did have some money, even like a £50 worth, he went to casinos. He thought that he could make that, he could double that in one night on blackjack. And guess what? He very rarely did. But one time he did, when he was younger, and since then he thought he could do it again. He chased that buzz, and that is how I could describe these goddamn packs. Is that maybe one time you open a pack and you got yourself a Neymar, you got yourself a Van Dijk, you got yourself an Mbappe. you got yourself an icon. Maybe one time you did open a pack, and it may not even be FP, but it may have one time, and you think, I could do that again. It's happened once, it could happen again. My account must be lucky. I must be lucky. So then you spend another £100 worth in a game. You spend another £50, 40, 30, and maybe even a smaller amount, but it adds up over time. And then you're consistently chasing that buzz. So then maybe you don't get that name up, but you may get like a medium, okay player. Maybe you got like a 50k player, like Eden Hazard now, and you think, okay, well, it's not an icon, but it's helpful. It helps out my team. It's so in your head, and it's so psychology. It is just you're agreeing with it, thinking, okay, well, that's okay. That's content. You stay content with that because you think, I will get that icon again. Then you spend another £100, and then you may only get, someone a bit worse than Hazard, maybe like a 30k player, 20k player, but it's not that icon that you want, but you know that it's on the way there because you did it once before, and then you keep chasing that buzz and you keep on putting him in the game, and you may get lucky once out of every 50 times you put £100 on, but in the end of the day, that you will still get your money. And this means nothing. This video game right now, FIFA, it all means nothing. It's just fairy dust. Like within another year, there'll be a new FIFA, and then you're gonna start from scratch again, and then what the f are you doing? Like, literally, what are you doing? So, that's my thoughts on this. Hopefully, in the next couple of months, and hopefully next year or two, I am fully confident that this will be a massive change, and hopefully a massive step in the right direction here. So, I'm absolutely f***ing buzzing, honestly, because it makes me sick. It really does. So, thank you for watching. Hopefully, you go enjoy yourself. Subscribe if you're new. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I'll see you all next time.